While I don't use Windows XP on every single computer I have, all of them are either Windows XP, Windows 7, or Windows 9X. I use Windows XP a lot, and there are certainly quite a few reasons why using Windows XP in 2017 is one, a good idea, and two, perfectly fine. The first reason is that Windows XP can run a lot of old software as well as a lot of modern software. I believe, second newest release of Firefox works on Windows XP. Malwarebytes, the antivirus software, is pledged to support Windows XP indefinitely, and quite a few other applications. Not their most recent releases, but certainly something that isn't so old it's, critically old, critically outdated, work fine on Windows XP. For example, Microsoft Office 2010 works on Windows XP, as well as, I believe, a version of Google Chrome from early 2016, while there are just a few browser issues with that. Overall, most of the time, works perfectly fine. And also, very, very old applications work well on Windows XP. I don't have one I can show you, but Turbo Pascal 7, which I believe was released in 1992, runs flawlessly on Windows XP, despite being designed for MS-DOS. Civilization 1 and 2, Civilization 1 was released in 1992, I think, also runs flawlessly on Windows XP, as well as Lattice C, released in 1982, seems to work alright on Windows XP as well. I tried getting these to work on Windows 7 and they just didn't work. My other reason for using Windows XP is that the amount of computer hardware you can put it on. For example, this custom rig from 1997, roughly, and the coffee computer from early 2001, as well as this laptop from mid-2005, and this Dell laptop from early 2011, they can all run Windows XP. I've tested it with that one. I'm almost certain that one can, because Dell laptops from very late 2010 can, so why can't Dell laptops from early 2011? And Windows XP is something you can put on all of your, not all of your hardware, but quite a lot of different computers, and still say if you want to, you've got a very, very old computer at home from 1999, like the Desk Pro over here, for example, and you want to write a Word document on it and transfer it via floppy or CD to your Windows XP laptop from 2006. You can do that. Not only that, if you wrote the document in Office 4.0 and wrote it to a floppy or a CD and plopped it in a laptop from 2006 or 2010 or whenever, it'd still work perfectly fine. Another reason actually the main reason why I still like Windows XP the most, is its rock-solid stability. Windows XP's stability is virtually unrivaled, except in the cases of, I would say, a few Linux distros, as well as several, I don't know if they're called distributions or not, with Unix. Solaris 10 certainly comes close, as does Windows 2000, but even Windows 7 crashes every once in a while, and 10, well, I once had a boot-up race against someone's laptop from 2017, and this laptop won the boot-up race because the other laptop the other Windows 10 laptop, it blue screen of death as it was booting up. Which I think is rather self-explanatory when referring to Windows 10's stability. I don't know if Windows 2000 is as stable. I would assume that it's nearly as stable. My desk is coming to the state of almost organized. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But as Windows XP is more feature complete, and some could argue it's bloat, some could argue it's not, I would certainly recommend Windows XP over Windows 2000 unless you have a specific reason to use Windows 2000. For example, the only thing about Windows 2000 I like more than with Windows XP is the fact that it's far easier to pirate. And you can just grab product keys off the web and type them into Windows 2000 and it'll accept it. However, with Windows XP, it's a lot harder to do that. You can't use the product... I used to be able to recite this product key from memory, but was, I believe, the one that was shown 35 days before release, written on a disk. I'll try to find the exact image, and we'll put a link in the description, but you can't do that with Windows XP since Service Pack 2, which is what this computer shipped with. And actually, if I do some deep diving into my box, behold the original CDs that came with this. And the only way you can get Windows XP, and this applies to Windows 7 and Windows Vista and 8.1 and 10 as well, is you either have to get it, the key has to be embedded in the computer's BIOS or on a product key sticker, like on the bottom side is this one. However, you're not going to see that despite the fact you want to see it. Or getting it boxed, and getting it boxed, I actually quite like the idea of that, so I can have like a box on a shelf or something, simply as for aesthetical reasons. I wouldn't say it's the last reason, because there are many reasons why I like Windows XP today, using Windows XP today. However, Windows XP can connect really well to old computer peripherals, whether they be image writers, or printers, or whatever. Windows XP can read... basically it can connect to a printer that is designed in 1995. Windows 7 can't do that, Windows 10 can't do that, Windows Vista cannot do that. That is certainly very useful if you have a piece of old hardware and you wish to reuse it. Also, something very good about Windows XP is there is far less bloat in Windows XP than there is. I wouldn't say that there is less bloat than there is in 2000, because 2000 is rather cut down in comparison to Windows XP. However, comparing it to to Vista, to a lesser extent 7, but certainly Vista 8 and 10, Windows XP has a lot less, should you say, stuff with it. For example, you don't have all these in-your-face icons that ask you to connect to your Xbox, despite the fact you use the computer for work or something, and you don't have Cortana, and it actually cares about your privacy, unlike Windows 10. And it's a lot more friendly user interface, in my opinion. And also, I think that the Luna theme looks a lot better than the Metro theme. Whether you think that a desktop should look like a tablet, that's just your opinion. However, I prefer the schizomorphic design to a monomorphic design, which is, unfortunately, the monomorphic design is becoming trendy and common now, making things, I think, look a lot less nice. So, I would say that's the video. There's not much else to say. You can't, despite what Microsoft claims, you can stay perfectly secure in 2017 with Windows XP by using certain antivirus software and having common sense and installing the unofficial service pack. And that's about it. The last reason I'd say I like Windows XP a lot is the fact I find it very, very easy to use. Like, it's not full of in-your-face stuff like Windows 8 or 10. It's kind of very, very nice and easy to use, because if you open up this Start button, here's what you see. You have kind of little, should you say, links to your documents, your recent documents, your picture, your music, your computer, your control panel, your internet connections, your printers, and then you can also access Windows Media Player or Windows or Outlook email or Internet Explorer, as opposed to having tons of things you really don't care about on your Start menu. I think I might actually be getting close to what the video limit is due to the fact my YouTube channel isn't verified, so I think I'll have to stop it here. Anyway, thanks for watching.